had so much gooey icing. Never had said
Lashusha takes dishes beyond.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer United Artists present the Shari Lewis Home Entertainment Library. Wow.
Have I got a story for you?
Have you got a story for me?
Yep, I've got a story.
So tell me the story. I can't wait for you to begin it.
Have I got a story for you? If you don't start, you'll never get through. It's a whale of a tale.
It's a tale of a whale?
No. But wait till you hear what is in it.
What is the story about?
Oh, I'd say it's about 1 minute.
Oh, that's funny. What's so funny? You can't tell a story in a minute. Why not? You start a story at 7 o'clock, and by the time you finish, it's the middle of January. Charlie, and those are the quickies.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, Charlie, here's a 1 minute story. Here's the story about a farmer in Kalamazoo who was starving and didn't know what to do until a stranger arrived at his farm carrying a goose under his arm. "Take care of my goose," he said. "And friend, the goose will take care of you in the end." Before the day was another hour old, that goose laid an egg that was made of gold. Farmer ran to town in a great mad dash, sold the egg for lots of cash. All that week and the next, I'm told, the goose laid eggs that were made of gold. The farmer sold the eggs, made lots of dough. He became rich, but then, you know, he said, "I really think it's a crime. Have to make money 1 egg at a time. That goose, he really makes me sore. In his belly, he's dozens more." So he grabbed that goose by the legs, killed the goose that laid the golden eggs. There were none inside the goose, of course, which filled the farmer with remorse. Soon his money was gone, and he was needy. You see what you get for being greedy? I did it! Less than a minute. I've got a tale, a whale of a tale, a tale that'll never go stale. I've got a tale I think you'll hail as a whale of a tale. It's old but good, and I can state the author's famous and nothing short of great. So put me in jail, give me a sail, and I will sail away. If I haven't got a whale of a tale for you today, have I got a story for you today? I do. You know, bedtime is story time around this house. And your house, too? I shouldn't be surprised. Everybody likes a good story. Yeah. What's your favorite? Oh, no. Don't tell me for a minute, okay? I promise I'll ask you later. If you're going to forget it, go write it down. When I was a kid, the thing I loved the best about story time was that I got to sit in somebody's lap. You try sitting in my lap, I'll stand up. All right, you want to tell me. Okay. When I count 3, everybody shout out what your favorite story is, okay? 1, 2, 3. That's amazing. You all said the same story. However, I don't happen to like that story, so forget it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're going to tell a lot of your favorites and some of mine. I got rights, too. And, of course, we're going to tell some of Lambchop's stories. Oh, yeah. Bedtime is story time for everybody around our house. In fact, sometimes story time comes after bedtime. Hey, you guys! I don't mean to be nosy or anything, but could you tell me, please, what the monkey is doing in my bed?
It is not a monkey. It happens to be a pygmy chimpanzee.
A pygmy chimpanzee? And what is this pygmy chimpanzee doing in my bed?
Maybe he's tired.
Come on, I mean, how did he get here?
He's from the San Diego Zoo.
What are you doing, babysitting?
Don't be silly.
Oh, good.
I'm monkey sitting.
For how long?
2 days.
Oh, my goodness. How is it babysitting a monkey?
He's driving me bananas. He won't go to sleep no matter what I do.
Why don't you sing him a lullaby?
No, why don't you sing him a lullaby? I love your lullabies. Don't pull off my buttons.
Well, I really feel silly.
I'm gonna suck his thumb. Yuck.
I feel silly singing a monkey a lullaby, Lambchop.
You know, Sherry, I'm afraid that if you don't sing him a lullaby, he's gonna start crying. Or, Sherry, you know, he might even get sick.
So you say you want a lullaby. You've got to have a lullaby. Or maybe you'll start crying or get sick. Well, I'm giving you your lullaby. You're gonna get your lullaby. But I'm warning you right now. It's gonna be quick. Quick now, go to sleep, please. You gotta try. All that I have time for is a quick little lullaby. I don't even have time to tell you why. All that I have time for is a quick little lullaby. Go to sleep fast. Take a nap now. Sure, it's hard to jump right in it, but I'm leaving in a minute, and you've gotta manage it somehow. Sandman, speed it up, please. You gotta try. Normally, I wait for you with a little song or two, but tonight I've got to do a quick little lullaby. That's it. Good night. How do you like that? To them, it's a lullaby, and to him, it's a top 40 hit.
Oh, this is tragical.
What?
Well, you know, I really wish to read a story of Rumpelstiltskin to the monkey.
So?
You forget.
What?
I can't read.
Oh, that is tragical.
Yeah.
I think the time has come for me to teach you to read.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
And you know, I love it. And you know, I'm going to be very good at reading.
Really?
Because I already know the alphabet.
Do you?
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
Okay, but if I get stuck, help me.
Okay.
A, help me.
Okay.
No, I know the alphabet, you know.
Do you?
There's a C in it and an L, right?
Right.
See, I told ya.
All right, let's look at some little words here in the book, and we'll learn that way.
Okay. Whatever you say,
Thank you.
all the time.
Thank you. Now, here's a short word. It's hour.
It's all what?
It's hour nothing. It's H-O-U-R. Hour, as in hours of the day.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay. Now, that's what it looks like in writing.
No kidding.
Uh-huh.
All those funny little circles and squiggles.
Those are the letters in the word hour.
Oh, and what is the one that looks like a chair? The first one.
Like a chair, that's an H.
H.
Good.
Oh, it's nothing. And what is the one that looks like a circle?
The circle is O.
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 Oh. And what does the horseshoe mean?
The horseshoe? That horseshoe is another letter.
Which one?
U.
Me?
No, not you. You.
Not me. Me?
Sweetheart, U is a letter.
I is?
I is a letter, too.
You is a letter, and I is a letter?
Yes.
Oh, good. We is letters.
Honey, the letter U and the letter I are not the same as the word U and the word I.
They aren't?
No.
Hiya, Sherry.
Just a second, Charlie Horse, please.
Huh?
Look, Lambchop. See, this is another letter. It's R. This letter is R.
This letter is R?
Yeah.
You mean this letter R is?
No, not R is R.
Not R is R.
That's right.
What's right? I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Darling, I'm going to continue the lesson later. And right now, why don't we three tell the story of Rumpelstiltskin together to the monkey?
Oh, you know what?
What?
We could sing it as a trio.
Why should we sing it as a trio?
Because you don't have enough hands for us to do it as a quartet. She got you there.
Okay. Once upon a moonbeam in a castle by the sea sat a girl by a spinning wheel, sad as she could be, for her father went to sea. see the king and boasted, so I'm told, that his daughter could spin a room full of straw into gold.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, of course it's impossible, we know that. But do you know the king took the boastful man at his word, and he locked the girl in a huge room full of straw, told her to spin it into gold by morning, or she and her father would both lose their lives.
Uh-oh.
So there she sat, trembling with fear, waiting for a miracle to appear, when all at once, to her great surprise,
Yes?
a little gnome was before her eyes.
What's a gnome?
It's kind of a little leprechaun. And he said,
I'll do it, Shari. Don't you worry, lady, for help is here.
he smiled.
I will spin your straw to gold if you'll give me your first child. Do I do it?
Yep, they made a bargain, and she promised her child away.
Oh,
And the little man spun the straw into gold by the break of day. Now, when the king saw the gold, he was simply dazed. He fell to his knees, he was so amazed. And he said, good lady, for the rest of my life I would be very honored if you'd be my wife. So they were married. Then and there. And in a year, they had an heir.
what's in there?
A sweet little boy.
My son, the baby.
But just as the queen had feared, that was when the little man appeared.
Queenie, keep your promise,
Said the tiny little man.
Oh,
Said the queen,
I would rather keep my baby if I can.
well, the little gnome was angry, but he said,
Y'all play your game. You can keep your kid if in 3 days you can guess my name.
and he was gone. Well, she had just 3 days to guess his name. That's a terrible task. So she sent a messenger all around the countryside to ask. But no one had heard of the little man, though they looked night and day. And just as he was about to give up, right there in his way was a giant tree that seemed to sway beneath the yellow moon, to a little voice that laughed and sang this most revealing tune.
Do you think the queen can guess my name? I don't think that she can guess it. And I'm very, very certain that I will never, ever confess it. A name like mine is always sure to bring a laughing riot. 'Cause Rumpelstiltskin is my name, and I'm gonna keep it quiet. Do you blame me?
Well, quick as he could, the messenger reported to the queen the little voice and the song he'd heard and the little gnome he'd seen. And so the next day, when the little gnome came to claim her tiny child, the queen leaned back upon her throne, looked at him, and smiled.
Is your name Jack or Jill?
She said, no, he screeched with a grin.
Well then, little man,
She said,
how about Rumpelstiltskin?
well, he became so angry that he stamped right through the floor. And suddenly Rumpelstiltskin disappeared forevermore. The end. Hey, hush, puppy. Your drawing is really improved.
The monkey did that one, Shari.
Oh, it's very nice, Monkey. Very nice. It's nice of you. Are you helping Lambchop monkey sit?
Yes, and let me tell you, Shari, it ain't easy.
You know what you could do?
I done it already.
You done what already?
Everything you can think of.
Oh, well, you could take a great big piece of paper and draw a big...
I done it.
You drew a big what?
Picture.
And where is this big picture?
Right over there.
Oh. What are those, dogs? They look like dogs.
Well, there is rats.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're all over the place.
Yes.
What place is that?
That's the town square.
Oh, what town?
Hamlin.
And who are the people?
Well, one of them is the pie-eyed piper.
And the pie-eyed piper. You mean the Pied Piper?
If you say so.
I just did. And who's the other guy with the very sad mouth?
That is the mayor. Shari, why is he so sad?
Oh, don't you know? Oh, this story is an absolute scandal. The town of Hamlin long ago was overrun by rats. It's terrible, but true. Folks didn't know what to do until one day land. The mayor said, "Hey, good piper, you know, I don't know what you got planned, but get rid of the rats, and I'll put 50,000 guilder in your hand. 'Cause we have got to get rid of the rats. The rats are everywhere. They're climbing on the tables and they're under every chair. At first we bought some cats and thought they chased the rats away. But oh, those awful rats, they chased away the cats. What can we do? The rats have got us down. What can we do short of moving out of town?" Well, the piper wasted not a moment, but he went to the town square, and on his pipe he played a most peculiar little air. And in a moment, from all around, as far as the eye could see, a million rats came from every house and from every rock and tree. And suddenly, a parade was formed with the piper at its head. And the rats danced to the piper's tune, no matter where he led. All were drawn by the little man's pipe and its enchanted sound. All were drawn to the river, where they drowned. And then the piper went to the mayor to ask for his pay. He said,
Your Honor, 50,000 guilder is not such a lot. You'll have to admit you got just what you bargained for. 50,000 guilder is not much to pay for the very important job of chasing your rats away.
But the mayor said, "Hey, what'll you do? Bring the rats back?" Not another word did the little piper say. He simply drew forth his magic pipe to play. And in a moment, from all around, as far as the eye could look, a million children came from every house and from every cranny and nook. And once again, a parade was formed with the piper at its head. And the children danced to the piper's tune, no matter where he led. To the mountainside, the little children walked, and the pipe played on and on. And suddenly, the mountain opened wide, and all were gone. The town of Hamlin, long ago, was sad forevermore. Its children had marched away. They're still gone to this day. And on their streets, the sound of merry laughter never again was heard. Since the day the town of Hamlin broke its word.
Shari? Shari! Shari! I need you! Shari!
What's the matter, darling? Why aren't you asleep?
Because I'm so hungry. I'm very so hungry. Really, I'm just dying. I'm so hungry.
Really? Well, if you're so hungry, why did you shove the cookie I gave you under the pillow?
It's for the tooth fairy.
The tooth fairy doesn't want cookies.
I'm all out of teeth.
Well, the problem with you is you don't quit. I mean, first it's a cookie for you, then it's a cookie for your dolls.
Be careful, don't beat up on my friends.
They're not your friends, they're your dolls.
Bite your tongue, they might hear you.
Oh,
Now, come on, fix them up. Fix up, Dandelion.
I'm sorry, Dandelion.
Fix up, Honey Child.
I'm sorry, honey child. Now, I suppose they want a cookie?
No, thank you very much all the same, but I, being a good mommy, have already fed them. as you can tell.
How can I tell that you fed your dolls?
'Cause they're stuffed. But they would like a story.
Good night, my dear.
No, I'm thirsty is what I meant to say. I'm thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Water, water. And I'm hot.
Lambchop, you really... You ought to stop crying wolf.
I wasn't crying wolf. I was crying water, water. I don't want a wolf.
No, I was referring to the story.
What story?
Oh, no. You're not going to sucker me into telling you a story. It is too late for that.
Tell me about the wolf, and I will go to sleep.
But it's not about the wolf.
But you said...
No, you said. You said you were hungry, you were thirsty, you were hot, you were cold. You weren't any of those things.
What's that got to do with the wolf?
There once was a little shepherd boy whose job was attending his father's flock. He'd leave with the dawn, with the sheep for the hills, and would stay till 6 o'clock.
What did he do?
Well, of course, he could play his flute all day. There was no excitement in that. And sometimes he'd pick daisies to put upon his hat.
Me, put the daisy on me because I am the little shepherd boy.
I didn't know that you were the little shepherd boy.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, but that little boy was lonely. He wanted company the whole day through. For high on the hill with his flock of sheep, there was simply nothing to do. So he thought.
And he thought.
And at last,
What?
hooray! He thought of a plan that would wipe his loneliness away.
Here it goes.
Now, no one in town had seen a wolf. No wolf had been seen for at least a year.
I'm glad.
But shepherds are always alert for the wolf that might suddenly appear.
That is not a wolf. That is a panda.
No, that is a wolf in panda's clothing.
Could I sit closer to you?
Of course. So one day, without a second thought at all, the shepherd boy began to call to the villagers down below. Help! Help! A wolf is attacking!
Help, help,
Get cracking! Move your legs as fast as they can go! When the villagers heard that cry of distress, they came from the village and from the farm. And quick as they could, they ran up the hill to answer that false alarm.
But there was no wolf attacking the sheep.
Just one shepherd boy, and how he laughed at the men.
Ha, 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 you silly men.
Who turned on their heels and walked down the hill to their little homes again.
That's a good joke, huh?
You really think so?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, what?
no sooner had they left him when a wolf really did come from the wood. And the shepherd boy called after the men as loudly as he could. Help! Help! Get cracking! A wolf is attacking! Move your legs as fast as you can go!
Where is everybody?
No one believed that shepherd boy.
Believe me.
So he fought by himself with a stick and a rock.
I did?
Uh-huh.
How do you like that?
But this time a wolf had really appeared, and he killed all the sheep in the flock.
That is a very scary story.
Is it really, Lambchop?
It is if you're a sheep.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
I mean, a story about wolves killing sheep is supposed to put me in the mood for sweet dreams.
Well, I didn't know you were going to take it personally.
Personally, my name is Lambchop. One of those dead sheep could be my Aunt Sarah.
I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I need a story that puts me in a good mood when it's done.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Happy endings are a good beginning to a night's sleep. I always insist. I mean, I really insist. I really do. on a happy ending.
Okay, Charlie Horse, I got the idea. How about you, Hush Puppy?
I don't like sad endings because they make me cry. And sometimes I get tears in my ears from lying on my back in my bed listening to your sad stories.
Boy, this is tragic. Okay, you guys, what's your favorite kind of story?
Uh-huh. I like scary stories. Ooh. I never heard a scary story that bored me.
You never heard a scary story that bored you?
Me neither.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to tell you a scary story that is going to bore you to sleep.
I dare you.
Okay. Oh. And I'm going to tell the scary story about us.
Okay, right on.
All right. It was a dark and dreary night.
I love it.
Shari, Charlie Horse, Hush Puppy, and Lambchop, of course, were sitting around a very small campfire.
Go on.
Suddenly, Charlie Horse said, Shari, tell us a story. And this is the story Shari told.
Good.
It was a dark and dreary night.
What?
Shari, Charlie Horse, Hush Puppy, and, of course, Lambchop were sitting around a very small campfire. And Charlie Horse said, Shari, tell us a story. And this is the story that Shari told.
It is a dark and dreary night.
You got it.
Shari, Charlie Horse, Hush Puppy, and Lambchop were sitting around a small campfire.
That's right. And suddenly,
Charlie Horse said, Shari, tell us a story. And this is the story that Shari told.
you got it.
Good night, Shari. Good night, Shari.
I got you. Good night. Good night. Wonder what it's like to have hands on your feet. I can't believe it, Lambchop. This guy hasn't been to sleep yet, and he doesn't even... He looks a little dopey, but he doesn't look sleepy. Maybe he's an insomniac.
Or maybe he has trouble falling asleep.
Yeah, one or the other. Maybe he'd like to play with one of your toys. Shall I go get your lion and your mouse?
No, it's breakable.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Let me give him your turtle and see how he likes the turtle. What if... Oh,
Oh, that got his attention like magic.
it certainly did.
Magic. Somebody said magic. I think that we ought to read that monkey a magical tale.
Which magical tale do you have in mind?
The one that came with my magic kit.
Oh, The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, no, don't tell me. Is that the story that is all about the, sorcerer and his apprentice?
Yes.
Oh, how does it end?
Very well, thank you.
Don't mention it.
I won't till we get there.
I've already been there.
What?
I read it. Bye.
Oh,
I didn't read it to me. Please.
and she did. Once upon a time, there was a sorcerer. Do you know what a sorcerer is?
Yes, a sorcerer is the bottom half of a cup in sorcerer.
No.
I didn't think so.
A magician is a sorcerer.
Of sorcerer.
And this sorcerer's name was Willibald.
Was he?
Was he what?
Was Willie Ball?
Willibald was his name, and he was a wonderful magician.
Sorcerer.
Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Willibald, what a man. He casts spells as no one can. He lends magic to his whim. A Willibald, that's him. No, that's not right. He does everything magically. A Willibald, that's he. That's much better. Okay. Now, Willibald had an apprentice.
Oh, the poor man. I hope it didn't hurt him too bad.
You know, what didn't hurt him too bad?
His apprentice. I once had an apprentice, but I had it removed.
That was an appendix you had.
Oh, yeah. I won't show you the scar.
No, thank you. Now, Willibald had an apprentice. That's somebody who's learning a trade.
Any fool knows that. Now I know it. That didn't turn out right.
No, it didn't. A sorcerer's apprentice is really a magician's assistant, and this apprentice's name was Fritzl.
What's so?
Fritzl. And the magician Willibald had a favorite trick.
What was it?
He could get brooms to do his work for him.
Brooms?
Uh-huh.
To do work by themselves?
That's right. And whenever he would clap his hands together...
No, don't clap your hands together.
Why not?
Because every time you clap your hands together,
I black out.
Oh, okay, I won't. Well, the sorcerer clapped his hands, though, 3 times, and immediately the broom went out for water and brought it back into the house.
Could Fritzl, the assistant, do this broom trick?
No, but he would stand there and he would watch the sorcerer doing the trick, and in his imagination, he would dream that he, too, was a great magician, able to order brooms around and say, broom, carry water, broom, carry meat, on your seat, down the street, and don't stop to talk to the people you meet. Table, scrub the floor, lamp, close the door. Oh, what a pleasure to know that I won't have to work much anymore. Well, one day, Williball left the house and told Fritzl, his apprentice, to wash all the floors before he got back.
Did he?
Well, no. Fritzl was lazy, you know, and he tried to magically get the brooms to do all the work.
Really?
Well, he clapped his hands 3 times. He clapped his hands 3 times.
And what happened?
Sure enough, the broom went out and brought back 2 buckets of water.
Oh, that's good.
Not so good. Because the broom just kept going back and forth, bringing water back into the house, each time emptying the pail right onto the kitchen floor.
This broom is going to doom the room.
Back and forth went the broom, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Monotonous, isn't it?
Suddenly, Fritzl realized he didn't know how to make the broom stop carrying water. And he started screaming, "Stop! Broom, broom, stop! Don't bring any more water. You brought much more than you ought to already. Steady! Steady!" And in desperation, Fritzl grabbed an axe off the wall, and he split the broom in 2.
It's about time.
That didn't stop the broom. Now both halves grew arms and legs and went out to carry water.
Oh, poor Fritzl.
And the room was flooded by the time the sorcerer appeared.
Uh-oh.
And he was mad and
wet.
And with a wave of his wand, the room was dry once again. And he looked at Fritzl, and he sang.
He sang? Oh, wouldn't you know it at a time like this?
Well, I guess it was either sing or swim. Fritzl, Fritzl, you're an oaf. All you want to do is loaf. You should be working hard instead, Fritzl. You're a blockhead. And then the sorcerer made another gesture with his magic wand. And Fritzl found himself in his own backyard, miles away, and never again could Fritzl call himself the sorcerer's apprentice. Williball, Williball, he did tricks with chairs and stairs and big broomsticks.
Fritzl tried some magic too, and Williball said, Fritzl, you're through. Get out! I can barely move. Shh. She'll wake up you know who. She won't play. And I am pooped. Be careful. Be careful. You know you split a seam. Oh, darn it. Shh. You'll wake up Lambchoppy, and she'll start crying for a cookie. Boy, I could use one. I am starving. Oh, no wonder. You lost half your stuffing through that seam. That must be why I feel so hungry. Shall I stuff it back in? I'd rather have a cookie. Hey, wait a second. What? Lambchop is a sloppy eater. So? So I bet there's a cookie or 2 under the bed. Fall out. You mean you're going... What are you doing on the floor? You're going to look under the bed for food? Of course. I'm so hungry, I'm hearing things. What's going on there under the bed? It's a race, and we're just in time. Once upon a time, the tortoise and the hare raced. Once upon a time, everyone was there. The dog and the bull and the bear. They all had come to see the tortoise race the boastful hare. The tortoise was surrounded by many friendly faces. All at once the bugle sounded. They both took their places. Who should be the referee? None other than the horse. He walked up to the starting line and bellowed out the course.
Hey! They'll run around the tree. They'll jump the rock and swim the stream and cross the field as fast as they can tear. And down the road and round the bend and at the rock, the race will end. The crowd will cheer the winner of the race between the tortoise and the hare. They're off! Bang went the starter's gun. Hiss went the hare. He was off in a wink of an eye. He ran round the tree and jumped the rock and was across the field. And as he ran, he cried, I'm a hare. I'm a hare. Just for speed, there is no other to compare. Follow me if you dare. I'm faster than a sneeze. I can outrun any breeze. I please. Lighter than air. A hare. And while he was boasting, where was the tortoise? Where, oh, where was he? Why, he hadn't yet left the starting line as far as anyone could see. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, how that tortoise would creep. So the hare, who felt he had the race won, lay down and went to sleep. And as he snoozed, the tortoise, who never ceased to try, kept plodding on until at last he passed the hare by. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4, hey now I'm doing fine. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4, see I crossed the finish line. The animals all cheered him. They lifted the tortoise in the air, and all that cheering finally awoke the sleeping hare. Then with a sudden burst of speed, he crossed the finish line in style. But too late, he'd lost by a mile. Yes, the hare was fast, but the hare lost face. He turned away, he was in disgrace. The story's old, but it proves the case. That slow and steady wins the race. The end.
Uh-oh, I broke the lion and the mouse. Hurry up, darling, get back up here.
Yeah, but Lambchop's gonna cry.
Look, wake her up.
What was that?
What happened? Something happened. My lion and my mouse. Oh, Shari! Shari! Shari, where are you?
Smashed. Gone. Lambchop, you're not smashed. You're not gone. Darling, that was a nightmare.
No, I mean my lion, my mouse, my favorite toys, they're broke.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Lambchop.
You know, I don't even have a picture to remember them by.
Oh, sweet. You know what?
What?
Right now, I'm going to give you something better than a picture to remember them by.
What?
A story.
You could make up a story about my lion and my mouse?
I don't have to,
Why not?
because Aesop did it for me.
Let's tell a story, a story, a story. Let's tell a story that happened long ago. Let's tell a story, a tale of the lion and a mouse. It's a little story you should know. It begins once upon a time. A mouse was walking through the woods in the merry month of May when she happened to come upon a lion standing in her way. Roar, said the lion, in a terrifying way. Roar, roar, said the lion. I'll eat you up today. Then he pounced upon the little mouse and he opened up his jaws and he was about to eat the little fellow when the mouse asked him to pause. She said,
Give me a break. For goodness sake, what did I ever do to you?
no one has to know. Won't you let me go? It's the nice thing to do. It's the nice thing to do. Besides, kind sir, someday I might do you a favor too.
But the lion only laughed. Ha, 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 ha. You're much too small. What could I ever expect of you? You're much too small to ever be of use to me. I'm much too tall. Of what use could you be?
Let me go, you never know just how tomorrow will end. And who can tell what use a little mouse could be to its friend?
Well, the lion was so amused, he let that little mouse go, and the little fellow scampered out of sight. And do you know the day arrived when the mouse proved he was right? For the mighty lion was captured, and they tied him to a tree. And no matter how he twisted and turned, he just couldn't get himself free. When who should come along his way, but the mouse he freed another day. Before you could count from 1 to 2, he sharpened his teeth and began to chew. One by one, neath his tiny teeth, the cords began to fray. Then suddenly, with a snap, they broke, and the lion got away, which only proves that the smallest mouse can sometimes save the day. And from that day forth, the lion and the mouse were the closest of friends. They lived happily ever after, or so I'm told. And that's the way the story ends.
Hush, puppy, just a second, Sherry.
Hey, what are you writing?
Nothing.
You're writing your nothing all over the table.
Oh,
Oh, no, don't do that. I'll clean it up.
oh, no, don't, Sherry. It ain't nice for a lady to spit.
Hush, puppy, what is bothering you?
Well, I am trying to concentrate.
What are you trying to concentrate on?
Well, I'm writing a story.
Oh, on what?
Paper.
No, I mean about what?
Oh, about dogs.
Really?
Yeah, why you sound so surprised? Us dogs can rise to great heights, especially when we stand on our hind legs.
You angry with me?
Oh, a little bit, darling.
Why?
Well, you know, you tell Lambchop a story about sheep. You tell a story about her lion and her mouse. You even tell a story about the rats. But you ain't never told me not one story about a dog.
Oh. Well, I've told you jokes about dogs.
I can't remember one. They can't be too funny.
I remember I told you the one about the, there was this rich dog from Texas, and he went out and bought himself his own boy. You remember?
Racial humor, that's what that is.
I say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, can't you even take 1 minute and tell me a story about a dog?
All right, darling, I'm going to tell you a 1-minute story about a dog. This is the 1-minute story about the dog and his bone. A wonderful old story. Once there was a little dog whose master had given him a bone. A big soup bone that silly old dog was very proud to own. Proud, that is, until, gee whiz, he came upon a stream. And there at the edge of a high rock ledge, his eyes got an angry gleam. For he happened to look down into that brook, and there, what do you think? He saw another dog with a bone in his mouth, and so, quick as a wink, he barked at the dog he saw in the water and opened his mouth, which he shouldn't have ordered, because the bone he'd held as tight as you please fell from his mouth with the greatest of ease into the stream to disappear. And that is the end of the tale, I fear, for the dog in the water to which he'd objected. That dog was nothing but himself, reflected. And that is the story in all of its glory about the jealous, zealous dog and his bone. 1 minute?
Oh, it's my turn.
Hey. Hello. Hey, Lambchop. Isn't this my copy of Little Red Riding Hood?
Yes, he's reading it.
What do you mean he's reading it? He's eating it.
Maybe he's digesting some of the passages. That was a little joke.
That was a very little joke.
When they're that little, they need a lot of love.
Lambchop, since you can't read the story to him, why don't you act it out with your Little Red Riding Hood puppet? I just found it.
Oh, I don't like that puppet.
Why?
I never know how to make it work.
What do you mean make it work? You talk to it. Hello, Lambchop.
Hello, Shari.
No, that was your puppet talking.
No, it was you. I saw you.
Don't watch me. Watch your puppet.
Watch the puppet. This is stupid.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hello, Lambchop. Talk to the puppet.
Hello, puppet.
How are you, Lambchop?
I'm fine, puppet. Oh, this is so silly. That's you talking.
Yeah, right, right. And when you make the puppet work, it'll be you talking.
And when I make the puppet work,
Yeah?
it'll really be you talking.
I can't fool you, can I?
If you fooled me, I'd really feel sheepish.
All right, since it's going to be me making the puppet talk anyway, I might as well tell the monkey the story of Little Red Riding Hood.
How you gonna do it?
Doesn't matter. No matter how I tell it, the monkey is going to love this old-fashioned tale of Little Red Riding Hood.
Watch out, there's a wolf in the woods. Watch out, you little Red Riding Hood. Watch out, there's a wolf in the woods. Watch out, you little Red Riding Hoods.
Poor Little Red Riding Hood. Think of all the trouble she had. She met a wolf in the dark dark wood. He was very, very bad.
Watch out, there's a wolf in the woods. Watch out, you little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood, oh, why don't you come along with me? We'll travel this road and we will see whatever there is to see. Poor Little Red Riding Hood, she said, Mr. Wolf, the answer is no. I started to go to my grandma's house, and that is where I'm gonna go.
Watch out, there's a wolf in the woods. Watch out, you little Red Riding Hood.
But the wolf got there first, jumped into Grandma's bed to fool Red Riding Hood. And Little Red came, oh, what a shame, the rotten wolf was up to no good.
Watch out, there's a wolf in the bed. Watch out,
You better run instead. Grandma, you got some big, big teeth, you got a mouthful of chops, she said. All the better to eat you up, my dear. And then the wolf, he jumped right out of bed. Watch out, she's in a terrible spot. Watch out, trouble is what she's got. The hunter came along with his mighty gun, and that scared the wolf and made him run. Bang, bang, oh!
there's a wolf on the run. Bang, bang,
He's looking to find someone.
watch out,
There's still a wolf in the woods.
watch out,
You little Red Riding Hood.
watch out, there's a wolf in the woods. Watch out, you little Red Riding Hood. Watch out, there's a wolf in the woods. Watch out.
What am I gonna do? You ought to be asleep now. Yeah, everybody's asleep. Everybody. Do you realize that? There's just you and me. There's nobody. What's the matter? You want to eat your blanket? Gee, they gave you a plain baby blanket at the San Diego Zoo. I mean, we treat you fancy. Look at the bed you're in. Is it like this at the San Diego Zoo? Do you have a pink down coverlet? Do you have ruffled pillows? Do you have curtains? Do you have curtains on your window? Do you have clean sheets? I don't mean they have dirty sheets at the San Diego Zoo. Of course not. What does your mother do? Hey, what does your mother do to put you to sleep? What does your mother do? Does your mother count bananas falling off a tree for you? Look, if you want to go to sleep, you can relax. You could leave a wake-up call. No, huh? All right, my sweet. How about a toy? Want to play with the toy? There's a pretty toy. You like it? You like it? What? It's a doll. Yeah, doll's wearing a silly dress. You like that? Or would you rather have a teddy bear? This is a very fancy place. You can have teddy bears. You painted today. You did so many activities. Yes. Look at me. I'm running a Club Med for monkeys. Terrific, huh? Ooh, when the others hear about this back at the San Diego Zoo, they're not going to believe how much fun you had. They're going to say, oh, you made it up. You made it up. What are you going to tell them? You're going to say you talked with a lamb and a horse and a dog. Come to think of it, at the San Diego Zoo, they'll believe that. Beg your pardon. Want me to suck your thumb? I've never seen you suck your thumb. Do you suck your thumb? There, okay. Oh, maybe you will go to sleep. Oh, maybe you will. Oh, what big teeth you have.
The story of Jack and the Beanstalk is a very old tale, you know. It happened, so they tell me, on the day before long ago.
A very poor boy named Jack lived with his mother in a shack. Once they had a goose that laid golden eggs. But a giant had stolen the goose that laid the golden eggs. Since then their luck had turned sour. They grew poorer by the hour. Jack's mother said, it's nothing to do but sell our only cow. And so, my boy, why don't you take her to market now? His breath is so sweet. Am I boring you? On the way to market, Jack met a man who said, I'll buy your cow if I can. I'll take good care of your cow. Yes, sir. And I'll give you some magic beans for her. Oh, so Jack, who wasn't a very good businessman, took him. When Jack's mother saw what he had done, was she upset? She said, oh, Jack, what have you done? You're gonna be the death of me yet. You're a very silly dilly, you're a nutmeg, you're a goose, you're a rounder, you're a bounder, in your head a screw is loose. You're daffy as a loon, you're a silly little dunce, and I'd like to see you do a thing right just once. You are obviously more like your father than me. And then she threw the beans out of the window, and sadly they both went to bed. But in the morning, when Jack awoke where the beans had been thrown, a beanstalk had grown instead. So Jack ran into his mother's room, woke her up, woke her up, woke her up, and he said,
There's a beanstalk out in back, and as sure as my name is Jack, the top is growing right up through the sky. There's a beanstalk out in back, and as sure as my name is Jack, I am gonna climb that beanstalk, or at least I'm gonna try. I'm gonna climb that beanstalk to the sky.
Well, Jack's mother was frightened, and she said, up there, a giant has built a castle in the air. This giant has stolen our goose that laid the golden eggs. It's not funny. So, Jack, you had better beware. But Jack would not be held back. What's so funny? He climbed up that beanstalk, up, 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 until he passed the stars, and he passed the moon. And at last, he arrived at the top. Am I boring you? And there was the castle of the terrible giant. Jack sneaked up to the window, and there he saw the goose who laid the golden eggs. The giant was eating his supper, and the goose was right between his legs, and so Jack waited while the giant ate. And he ate, and he ate, and he ate, and he ate, and then he ate some more. He ate 6 chickens and 15 pigs and cows by the score. And at last, am I boring you, from all of that eating, the giant fell asleep. Quick as a flash, Jack grabbed the goose. Whack, whack, whack went the goose as Jack ran. Whack, whack. Waking up the sleeping giant, who, seeing that his magnificent goose was gone, really became defiant. Quickly he jumped through the window, just as Jack was almost out of height. What are you doing? The giant followed swiftly after, and Jack expected the worst. But he had a head start, and what do you know? He got to the beanstalk first. Down, down, down went Jack with the giant right after him. But Jack was fast, and when he got to the ground, he grabbed an axe, and he chopped down the beanstalk. Chop, chop, chop. Down, down, down came the giant. He hit the ground, and he kept on going, and he was never heard from again.
So Jack had the goose with the golden eggs and more than he could ever spend. And that is the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. A story with a happy end.
You found it delicious, huh? The milk is inside, dummy.
This is what I think that we ought to do.
Shari's not gonna
What
like
I think we ought to do.
What are you two doing up?
We were just trying to figure out how to get the monkey to go to sleep.
Don't worry about it. Victor's asleep in my bed.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's so sweet. Hush, puppy, asleep with all these lights on?
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Really?
This is it. Good night, Lambchop.
Good night, Shari. Good night, Charlie Horse.
Good night, Lambchop. Good night, Shari.
Good night, Charlie Horse. Good night, Lambchop.
You did me already.
I did you already. Did I do you? No? Well, goodbye.
Yeah, and please, don't worry about us, because we're going to live happily ever after.
Really? Oh, am I happy to hear that. Whew.
I love a happy ending. I'd rather laugh than cry.
Making preparations for an event of world-shaking significance. The annual